Hi everyone, it's Vicky here and today I'll be using the Simon Says Stamp card kit. This is the April card kit and I'll be making sure to keep supplies that aren't in the kit to minimal. So here is a quick look to the 3 cards I'll be making today and let's get started with the first card. All the cards I'm making today are pretty simple and very quick. So first of all, I'm using these 3 pattern papers. They are all included in the kit, and I'll trim down this striped pattern paper to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm going to use this paper to cover up the whole of my card. I'm using adhesive at the back, and the good thing about this adhesive is that it doesn't stick too much and it's a bit forgiving, and you'll see why I say that later on. And now I've covered up the card front and I'll move on to this cardstock which is included in the kit. It's full of glitter. And I'm using again adhesive at the back and I'm gonna stick it down on top of my patterned paper. Now that my card base is ready, I'll move on to stamping. I'm going to use this light bulb there and I'm using VersaFine ink and stamp it on top of some scrap white cardstock. I'll go ahead and use these 2 pattern papers also from the kit, and I'm planning to paper piece this bulb, so I'm stamping it once on the yellow and I want the heart on this red pattern paper. So I'll go ahead and use my scissors and cut around the light bulb. This is going to be the base and I'm cutting it out, leaving a white border all around. And as I'm cutting out, just to let you know that you can always find a list of supplies that I'm using just below the video in the details area. And you can even find more still photos of my projects on my blog. So I'm using my adhesive now and I'll stick one paper on top of the other, and my light bulb is now ready. And now I'll go ahead and add my sentiment. I decided to go with the You Brighten My Day sentiment, and I'm going to white emboss it on vellum. Before embossing, I'll use my embossing tool. That makes sure that the embossing powder sticks only where the Versamark ink is. So I'll go ahead and stamp my sentiment there, and just remember that to avoid curling up of your vellum, when embossing it, you need to have your heat gun very warm before you apply the heat on the vellum. A nice tip is also to heat it from the back also, and you'll see that I did quite well here. It's very flat now. And just because earlier I used my glue glider as my adhesive, I was able to pull up the black cardstock and place my vellum just like I wanted to. I guess I wasn't planning ahead, but besides you, no one will ever know. So I'm gonna rub my vellum there and I'll secure it at the back using a bit of adhesive. And my sentiment is in place. The thing with this cardstock is that you cannot stamp on it, and that's my workaround for adding my sentiment. And now I'll go ahead and use some foam squares at the back of the light bulb, and I'm going to stick it on top of the vellum. This card is very quick and easy to make, and I think it's very bright, although the background is black. So now I'll go ahead and use my clear Wink of Stella glitter pen and add some shimmer to the heart and the whole of the yellow on the light bulb. The third card I'm making today at the end of the video follows the exact same design and layout as this card, but by using different pattern papers you'll see how similar they are but look so different. And now in the card kit there was a bag full of these veneer stars. So I'll go ahead and decide where I want everything to go, and I'm using my glossy accents to stick them down. Remember that this is glitter paper at the back and I need some strong adhesive. And that finishes the first card for today, so here are a couple of still photos before we move on to the second card. For my second card, I'm using this pattern paper, which is included in the kit, as well as the metal light bulb and some black cardstock. Everything you see here was in the kit. I'm trimming down my pattern paper to slightly smaller than 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and that leaves a black border all around. I'll go ahead and stamp my sentiment using Versamark ink on this red patterned paper, and I'll go ahead and white emboss it. This card is also very quick to do because all the job is actually done by the pattern paper. I think the pattern paper is quite busy with all those little circles there and all the little elements, and they really make the card. So I've white embossed my sentiment there, and I'm going to trim it down. The idea here is to create a banner out of this, which I'm going to stick at the top. Now I'll go ahead and add some baker's twine, so I'm just making sure where I'm going to make the hole. What I'm trying to do here is to hang the light bulb from the top, and to do so I'll be using the baker's twine as if it was the cable. I'm securing the baker's twine at the back with some adhesive, but just to make sure that it sticks there and doesn't move, I'll go ahead and use just a piece of Scotch tape. The light bulb is quite heavy and it's also metal, so I need a strong adhesive to stick that down, and I'm using some dots of glossy accents here and there at the back, which will hold pretty well. All that's left to do now is to add my sentiment. I'll go ahead and create a banner out of it. I'm cutting out a V shape at the bottom, and then I'll go ahead and stick it on top. I'll try to decide where I want this to be, and now I'll use adhesive at the top of my banner and foam adhesive at the bottom. I want the bottom of my banner to stick out and be dimensional. And now I'm using adhesive at the back of my pattern paper and stick it down on my card base. My card is pretty much finished. I'm just using these enamel dots, which are included in the kit, and add them at my light bulb. Finally, I'll use my Wink of Stella clear glitter pen to go all over the little elements on the pattern paper. This will make it look like it has its own embellishments. And that was the second card for today, so here are a couple of still photos before we move on to the third and last card. For my last card, I'll be using the same technique and layout I used in my first card, but you'll see how different it will look by adding different pattern papers. So I'm stamping again the light bulb on white cardstock on this grey pattern paper that has a wood grain pattern on top. And also I'll go ahead and stamp the heart on the red pattern paper. I'm going to cut them out as I did on the first card, and then paper piece them exactly the same way. As you can see on the white cardstock, I've left again a white border all around. Once my light bulb is ready, I'll go ahead and use one of the pretty cardstocks that are included in the kit. I love the color and how shimmery it is. I have trimmed that down so that it leaves a white border on the sides of the card, and I'll go ahead and use this scrap pattern paper that is left over from the rest of the cards and punch out some hearts. Now it's time to go ahead and assemble my card, so I'm using foam squares at the back of my light bulb, and I'll stick it to the very bottom of my card. Then I'll decide where all the little hearts are going to go, and so I'm trying out the placement here. You can probably see that the first and the last card look alike, but in the first one I had the stars as the little elements, and now I have the hearts. I've used glossy accents to stick down my hearts because this is glitter paper, and tape adhesive will not work. So now I'll go ahead and stamp the sentiment with VersaFine ink for a perfect impression. I'm using white cardstock there, which I'll later go ahead and trim it down. So I'll make a banner out of this sentiment again by cutting out a V shape on one end. I'm just making a mark there with my scissors where I want the V shape to be, and then I'll stick it down just behind the bulb. You'll see that I forgot about the glitter paper, so I'm using tape adhesive, but it won't stick. You'll see that I'll have to use glossy accents to make sure that it stays put. And now that my sentiment is in place, I'll go ahead and use foam squares at the back of the blue cardstock and stick it on top of my card base. To add some shimmer on the hearts, I had many options. I could use my stickles. I have 2 bottles of them that they could work, as well as glossy accents or my Wing of Stella. But just because I keep using Wing of Stella all the time, I decided to use my stickles, which have been neglected the last couple of months. This is rock candy. I'll go all over the hearts and add some glitter there. And that finishes the 3rd card for today. And that's how you can use your April card kit to create 3 cards quickly and easily. For a chance to win this card kit, make sure to visit my blog and enter your name on the giveaway. I hope you had fun and got inspired. Thank you all for watching.